Most men have it all wrong. They think flashing cash, driving an expensive car, or flexing a luxury lifestyle is the ultimate key to winning a woman's heart. They believe that if they just get rich enough, women will naturally fall into their laps. But here's the brutal reality. Money alone won't make you the kind of man she truly desires. You've seen it before. A guy with status, wealth, and everything society says should make him successful. Yet he still gets cheated on, disrespected, or left for someone else. Meanwhile, a broke bartender with nothing but confidence and presence can have women hooked on his every word. Why? Because money might get her attention, but it's not what makes a man irreplaceable. What I'm about to share with you is something most men will never understand. They'll waste their lives chasing wealth, thinking it's the golden ticket, while ignoring the real forces that make a man truly magnetic. But you're about to be different. These 3 things I'm about to reveal will set you apart for life. Not just in dating, but in how you command respect, how you navigate the world, and how you become the kind of man who never begs for attention, but effortlessly attracts it. And here's where Stoicism comes in, not as some outdated philosophy, but as the ultimate weapon in a man's arsenal. The ancient Stoics understood something that modern men have forgotten. Your power doesn't come from what you have, but from who you are. Master these principles, and you won't just win, you'll dominate, not just with women, but in every aspect of life. Before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe if you're ready to transform how you handle relationships using the power of Stoicism. Every video is a step toward mastering your mindset and building stronger, more meaningful connections. Let's get into it. 1. Emotional control, the silent power that separates men from boys. Picture this. You're out on a date. The energy is flowing, she's laughing, the eye contact is electric, everything is perfect. Then, bam, the waiter spills wine all over you. The entire restaurant goes dead silent. Eyes lock onto you, waiting for your reaction. Most men, they'd flinch. Their faces would turn red, frustration bubbling to the surface. Maybe they'd snap at the waiter, grumble under their breath, or worse, try to play it off. But you can see the irritation all over their face. And in that split second, something shifts in the woman's mind. She sees weakness. A man who can't handle a minor inconvenience. What happens when real pressure hits? Now imagine a different reaction. You glance down at your shirt, smirk, and say, "Well, I was going for a new look anyway." The tension shatters. The room exhales. She leans in closer instead of pulling away. Why? Because that moment, insignificant as it seems, tells her something no luxury car, 6-figure bank account, or designer watch ever could. You are unshaken. You are unbreakable. And that means she's safe with you. Women don't just hear your words, they feel your presence. And nothing makes them feel more secure than a man who remains calm under pressure. Think about it. Life is full of unexpected chaos. A lost job, an argument, a personal crisis. A man who crumbles under stress isn't just unattractive, he's a liability. But a man who stands firm, a man who laughs in the face of discomfort and keeps moving forward, that's irresistible. It's no coincidence that some of the most powerful men in history, emperors, warriors, leaders, were masters of emotional control. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics to ever live, ruled an empire through war, betrayal, and plagues. Yet, he remained composed, calculating, unmoved by the chaos around him, and that's what set him apart. This is where Stoicism becomes your ultimate weapon, not just as a philosophy, but as a way to command life. The Stoics didn't believe in suppressing emotion, they believed in mastering it. They knew that life would always throw storms in your path, but the real power lies in how you respond. When you develop an iron grip over your emotions, you unlock something most men never will: unshakable presence. And presence is what women truly crave. Not just money, not just looks, but the feeling of being next to a man who can face anything and still stand strong. So, The next time life punches you in the face, how will you respond? Will you lash out, lose control, and reveal your weakness? Or will you do what only the rarest men do? Stay calm, collected, and in complete command. That choice will define you. And trust me, she will notice. 2. Purpose. The fire that separates kings from peasants. Picture this. A guy wakes up in the morning. No urgency, no direction, no fire. He rolls over, grabs his phone, and spends the first hour of his day scrolling mindlessly through Instagram, watching other men live the life he secretly wishes he had. He sees the guys with the money, the success, the admiration, and deep down, he feels resentment. But instead of getting up and doing something about it, he just keeps scrolling. That kind of man, he doesn't attract. He repels. Women sense it instantly. The lack of drive, the absence of hunger. A man without a mission is a man without weight in this world. He's forgettable. He blends into the background, just another shadow moving through life with no impact. And nothing dries up a woman's attraction faster than a man who has no sense of purpose. Now picture another man, one who wakes up before the sun, not because he has to, but because he wants to. His mind is already locked onto his mission. Maybe it's building a business, mastering a craft, pushing his body to new limits, or creating something that will outlive him. He doesn't chase validation. He chases legacy. And here's the brutal irony. While the first guy is out there chasing women, hoping for their approval, the man on his mission doesn't even have to try. Women naturally gravitate toward him. Why? Because a man who is obsessed with something greater than himself radiates a different kind of energy. It's undeniable. It commands respect. It makes people stop and take notice. And women? They feel it in their bones. A man like that doesn't need to prove his worth. He doesn't need to beg for attention. His actions speak louder than any words ever could. This isn't just theory. It's something the greatest men in history understood. Take Epictetus, born into slavery, a man who had every excuse to be bitter, weak, and aimless. But did he let that define him? Instead of drowning in self-pity, he sharpened his mind. He devoured philosophy. He built a mindset so unbreakable that even after gaining his freedom, he chose to live simply, devoting his life to wisdom. His words, they still shape men to this day. That's purpose. That's what separates a man of weight from a man of air. And here's the truth most men don't want to hear. You don't need $1 million to have purpose. You don't need a perfect background, a perfect childhood, or even a perfect plan. You just need one thing, a reason to wake up every day and go to war with yourself. Because when you move through life with a mission, the world reacts to you differently. Men respect you, women notice you, opportunities find you, and most importantly, you respect yourself. So ask yourself right now, are you moving with purpose? Or are you just another spectator, watching other men build the life you secretly wish you had? Because in the end, it's simple. Men without purpose fade. Men with purpose rise. Which one are you? All right, let's do something different here. I don't just want you to sit back and listen. I want you to engage. Because if you're watching this, you're not the average guy. You're here to level up. So here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment right now and type, "Respect over riches." Why? Because at the end of the day, money might turn heads, but respect? That earns loyalty. And if you truly get what we're talking about here, if you understand that these traits are what separate real men from the rest, then let me know by commenting, "Respect over riches" below. And while you're at it, tell me, which one do you think women value the most? Let's see who's really paying attention. 3. Integrity, the backbone of a man's worth. Let me paint you a picture. A guy promises his girlfriend that he'll help her move on Saturday. She's counting on him. She made plans around his word. But then, at the last minute, his boys hit him up. "Bro, huge party tonight, you coming?" Now he's torn. In that split second, he convinces himself it's no big deal. "I'll just make up an excuse, she'll understand." So he does. He cancels on her, feeds her a half-hearted lie, and heads out. No harm, no foul, right? Wrong. That one little lie is bigger than he thinks. Because it's not just about this one time, it's about who he is when nobody's watching. And whether she knows the full truth or not, she'll feel it. Women have an instinct for this. They can sense a man's true nature, not by his words, but by the consistency of his actions. And in a world where most men cut corners, break promises, and do whatever is convenient, a man of integrity, that's rare. And what's rare is valuable. Think about it. When a man's word means nothing, neither does his presence. People start to see through him. Friends stop trusting him. Women stop respecting him. And worst of all, he stops respecting himself. I learned this lesson the hard way. Years ago, I made a promise to someone who trusted me. Nothing major, just a commitment to show up when I said I would. But when the time came, I flaked. Had a weak excuse, thought it wouldn't matter. But it did. Not because of what I missed, but because it showed the kind of man I was at the time. The kind who put his own convenience above his word. And the second I saw the disappointment in their eyes, I felt it. That deep, sinking feeling in my gut. That was the moment I realized. A man who can't stand on his word is a man standing on nothing. Seneca once said, "The greatest wealth is a content mind." But I'd take it further. A clear conscience is just as valuable. Stoicism teaches that the most powerful man is the one who lives in alignment with his principles, no matter the circumstances. Not because someone is watching, not because he's trying to impress anyone, but because he refuses to be anything less than what he claims to be. Look at Cato the Younger, a man so unshakable in his values that even Julius Caesar, the most powerful man in Rome, feared and hated him. Why? Because a man with uncompromising principles is a man who can't be manipulated, bought, or broken. That's integrity. And here's the brutal truth. If you can't trust yourself, why the hell should anyone else? Integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about being solid. A man whose word carries weight. A man who does what he says, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Because when you can look in the mirror and respect the man staring back at you, you've already won. So ask yourself, when nobody's watching, when no one will ever find out, are you still the man you claim to be? Because she'll know. And so will you. Here's a brutal truth, one that most men go their entire lives without understanding. Money catches her eye. A man with status, resources, and ambition will always stand out. It's wired into her biology. She can't help but notice. Emotional control holds her attention. A man who doesn't let his emotions dictate his actions, who stays composed under pressure, who doesn't crumble at the first sign of conflict, that's a man she takes seriously. Because control equals strength, and strength is rare. Purpose sparks her admiration. A man driven by something bigger than himself, whether it's building a legacy, mastering his craft, or shaping his own destiny, is a man she respects. Because a man with purpose is a man who doesn't beg for validation. But here's what truly separates men from boys. Integrity. Integrity isn't flashy. It doesn't get likes on Instagram, but it's the foundation of everything. It's what makes her trust you. And in a world full of frauds, weak men, and empty promises, a man she can trust is a man she'll never forget. Integrity is the difference between a guy she dates and a man she follows. Most men think women only care about the surface, the looks, the car, the bank account. And sure, those things help. But they're not what makes a woman stay, because at the end of the day, women don't want to feel unsafe. Not physically, not emotionally, not psychologically. A man without integrity? He's unstable. He says one thing and does another. He lies to her, to his friends, to himself. He makes promises he never keeps. And deep down, she knows it. She might play along for a while. She might even be attracted to his ambition, his charm, his success. But without integrity, she will never respect him. And without respect, love dies. That's the beauty of Stoicism. It doesn't teach you to chase women, or status, or external validation. It teaches you to build yourself into the kind of man who commands respect, not through words, but through action. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but his greatest power wasn't his title. It was his self-discipline, his ability to act righteously, even when no one was watching. And in the end, that's what truly separates the strong from the weak. Not money, not looks, not charm, but who you are when nobody's watching. So here's the real question. When all the distractions are gone, when no one is around to judge you, are you a man you would trust? Because if the answer is no, then why the hell should she? If this made you think, even just a little, don't just leave it here. Apply it. Live it. Become the man you claim to be. Because at the end of the day, you don't get what you want. You get what you deserve. And before you go, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now and type, character over currency. Because that's the real difference. Money fades, looks change, but character, that's what lasts. If you truly understand that what we talked about today goes beyond wealth, if you see the power in integrity, purpose, and emotional control, then type character over currency in the comments. And tell me, which one do you think is the rarest trait in men today? Let's start a real conversation. Now, hit that like button. Every time you do, you take another step toward becoming the man you're meant to be. Subscribe, because this journey doesn't stop here. Together, we'll keep unlocking the truths most men never dare to explore, and share this with someone who needs it. The world needs more men like you. Let's make it happen.